Welcome back to Nightly Nonsense, where we make some sense out of the nonsense that is all around us. There's a lot of nonsense, right? There's a lot of things that we could talk about. We could talk about some natural disasters. We could talk about political stuff. We could talk about cultural stuff. We can talk about all kinds of things because there's a ton of nonsense around us. So where do we start, right? Where do we start when we start trying to sift through the nonsense, right? Again, sifting through the nonsense, right, every single night for me means I look at the things that stick out as peculiar to me. I can't say the word, but you know what? Things that stick out to me, right? Things that, you know what, like in my world, like this is something that just caught my eye. It might not catch your eye, right? The nonsense usually has to do with where God has me. There are times where, you know what, I got a great tolerance for this. It's not something I think about, not something that I worry about, right? Then there's other times where I'm worried about it. I think about it, right? It's in the forefront of what I'm doing all the time, right? And so it's just nonsense. It's bugging me. But the core to that is, why is it bugging me, right? The who's, right? The whys are leading to who's. Why is this bugging me so much? Why is this making me treat other people poorly? Why is this making me grumpy and angry or sad or cantankerous or all these words, right? Why is this happening? Right? And again, at the core is usually somebody isn't either doing something that I think they should do, that they're not thinking the way I think that they should think, right? They're not being who I think they should be. Now, in my world, this happens all the time. All the time, right? I have people coming in wanting to talk to me, and I'm looking at them going like, you're not being who I would want you to be. Therefore, it's creating nonsense. I'm listening to you, and I literally can't get there. I don't understand what's going on because you just need to be a Christian, right? But the problem is that Christianity is usually as defined by me. I'm defining it, right? Again, this is where we're all getting in trouble. Because we look at Christianity, we define love, and we decide this is how a Christian should be. If you're not this way, if you're not being tolerant of everything that everybody's doing, you're not loving well, you're not a good Christian. If you're not disciplining all the time and telling people they're doing wrong things, right? Then you're not being a good Christian. If you're not thinking about this, if you wouldn't do it the way that I'm doing, well, then guess what? You're not being a good Christian. Nonsense comes when people aren't being and doing what we want them to be and do. We don't understand. Think about that at work. You just don't get my boss. One day when he gives me a raise, wow, greatest boss in the world. The next day when he's asking me to work extra for free or whatever it is, no, nobody would do that. Nobody would be treated like this. Right? So when we're looking at this nonsensical world, right, we're trying to create some sense out of the nonsense. Look at recently, right? We just had a hurricane in Florida making its way through Georgia, going out. And it's created a lot of nonsense, hurting people, broken things all over the place. How do we make sense out of that? Then there's going to be a lot of chaos in making the sense. People are just not going to do it the way that we would do it. It's not going to be quick enough. It's not going to be good enough. It's not going to be true enough. There's going to be people that are lying about things. People are taking advantage of the system. People driving to get water that don't need water. Boards that don't need boards. Money that they don't need it. Nothing happened to their house. But they're going to try to get it. Right? We love nonsense because it brings about opportunity. Right? It brings about opportunity. God, when he makes sense out of your nonsense, right? It is about opportunity. He's going to allow you to go through things. So he will have the opportunity to make some sense out of it. But it has to be brought down to the core, right? Why? Why does this matter to you? Why are you doing this? Who are you? Right? Who does God want you to be? These things matter. So I want you to chew on that. We're going to sift through some more of this stuff in the next few nights, right? But we're just trying to make some sense out of the nonsense all around you. See you next time.